Welcome.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Esther.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
really great to have you here. And I think we're all very excited to hear your talk on building cross-platform browser add-ons. So for the next 30 minutes, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing great at your place and keeping safe. So, as I'll be talking about cross-browser extensions today, giving you overview of what are extensions and how can you build one. So let's start with myself first. So I'm a software developer at Exotel. I primarily code in Golang and I contribute to open source. And it's been 5 years that I have been contributing to Mozilla. And currently I'm enrolled into the two programs right now, which are Mozilla Tech Speakers program and another one is Mozilla Reps program. And primarily I'm contributing to the add-ons community of Mozilla. So in case you want to reach out to me with respect to Mozilla Tech Speakers program, Mozilla Representative program, or add-ons related queries, you can just reach me out and let me know what are your questions post this. And so today I'll be talking about the agenda would be basically what are the browser add-ons, what are web extensions, what is the architecture of web extensions, and how can you use web extensions API in your add-ons to leverage the benefit of using it, running it over Chrome, Firefox, or any other browser. And also, if you have already built an add-on, so how can you port it on another browser, basically? So this will be a quite overview. This will give you a quite overview of what are browser add-ons and how can you build one and how to get started with it and how can you go into that. I'm sure that many of you would be aware what are browser add-ons, and you must be, and I'm sure that you might be using at least one of the add-ons, but still let me rephrase for the non-techie people or someone who has not used it. So basically browser add-ons are a small piece of code which you actually use to enhance the functionality of the browser. So it extends and modify the functionality of browser as per your own convenience. So this was a bit technical. I know that I'm expecting there might be some non-techies or you want to tell your non-techie friends what are browser add-ons. So let me tell you. So I consider browser add-ons as the shoes with lightings. So here we all know that we need shoes to we need at least one shoes to step out of our place or whenever we are at place even. So in that case, consider shoes as the browser and shoes with the lightings as the browser add-ons. So few of you might like it and few of you might not like it. But if you ask me, then I would love to have a lightning shoes because I love shoes. So you can actually tell people that this is how shoes with the lightnings are browser add-ons. Let me start with some of the examples and let me give you a disclaimer that whatever the add-ons I'm suggesting here, I have not been sponsored to give their names or to put their names on my slides. So it's just up my preferences and my choices that I'm suggesting you to use these kind of add-ons to give an overview as well, and the most useful plus most famous add-ons, few of them are. So let's talk about Grammarly. We all need content related help while writing. We all make mistakes, and Grammarly is actually the best tool or best add-on basically when to fix and find your grammar mistakes or punctuation mistake or spelling errors, right? And we all do it, especially while writing mail. We send it very randomly without even cross-verifying it, the content. So Grammarly helps a lot and it has saved a lot of people's mail content. And let's see how this works. So basically, if you have installed Grammarly in your browser, then while writing a mail, it will actually tell you that this is the problem, and it will actually help you to find the fix and find the problems, and it will suggest you can use them. You might skip those suggestions from Grammarly. Let's see other add-ons. So Another one is Gostrey. So I'm not sure if you might have heard about it, but it's a privacy add-on. So Gostrey is a privacy add-on. It actually stops the trackers, block your ads, and also in return it speeds up the website loading time. So in short, it helps you to stay away from the tracking digital footprints. So as you can see that you can actually track, you can see if you're visiting a website, then Gostrey will show you how many websites it has been blocked and what is the number of seconds it has actually increased for the page load time. So this is one of the useful add-on for privacy concerns if you're very concerned about the privacy. And let me talk about another add-on, which is again a privacy themed add-on, which is PrivateX. So let me tell you what is it. So basically, we all know that whenever we are using some websites which requires the input of critical information, we should actually view them in the private window or incognito window. So, but the problem is we are already using the normal window on the browsers, and we tend to avoid the extra seconds to open a private window and then open websites, net banking websites or travel booking sites, because we know that if we are viewing the travel booking sites, if let's say we are viewing the flight rates, then it might increase again and again if you're viewing it again and again, right? So like booking.com, if you're viewing the flights, then if you are, due to the cookies and tracking feature, they will again reach out to, they will again increase the flight rates. So to avoid that, we should usually try to view travel booking sites or net banking sites in a private window. So, but the problem which is that we tend to avoid that, so which is solved by PrivateX basically. So all you need to is, it will show you that give you the alert that this site should be viewed in a private window. You just need to click that icon and then it will open the same website in the new private window. And the best part is it actually removes the default UTM tokens as well from the website URL as well. So which helps you which gives you a second security feature. So I might be boasting about it, but this add-on is created by me, and I created it because it was one of the problems that I was facing, that I had to create a new private window and then open websites. So this made me to create one add-on, and I tried it too. It is a very small add-on, and I just find it very useful, and I thought it of publishing so that it could be useful to other people. So next, let's talk about Facebook Container. So Facebook Container is another privacy theme add-on. So I would say that we all use Facebook on our laptop, right? So you might have witnessed the ads of certain products which you have viewed on Amazon. So how does it come to Facebook? It's because of Facebook gets the web activities of your Amazon or other sites, right? So, but we tend, like, let's say if you're trying to book a website, you will see the same ad on the Facebook. But ideally, we shouldn't get that, right? Because we want our web activities different, isolated from the Facebook. So, Facebook Container is an add-on. It's a great app which actually isolate your web activity with the Facebook. So Facebook will not have the control over your web activities. So while using Facebook will know what you are viewing right now on the Facebook only, not what other sites you are viewing. So it's a very good add-on to basically eradicate the web tracking digital footprints. So, and I have been using it and I found it very useful while viewing it on the laptop. And next is TabbyCat. If you see, it's a very small, cute add-on, and it just whenever you are creating a new tab, it shows your cat which blinks, which sleeps, and you can actually even let you pet them. So the best part is it's a very small, cute add-on, and all I'm trying to say here is that your add-on could be a AI-powered startup like Grammarly. It could be a small add-on, like very cute add-on like TabbyCat, and also it could be a add-on like PrivateX, which can help to solve your problem. So if you are facing some issues or problem in the browser, you can try to find the same add-on, or you can try to build one add-on, right? So it's the best thing to create an add-on. It's a diverse set of add-ons which are there published on the Chrome web stores or Firefox add-on. And now let's see what are web extensions. So web extensions are basically a cross-browser system. So by cross-browser, I mean that it's a system which helps you to build browser for either Chrome, Firefox, Safari. So for developing an add-on. And let's see why should you use web extensions. So web extensions, if you go into the depth, so it uses standards HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And I assume most of the techie would be aware of the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Even if you don't know, then you can start picking up the JavaScript and you can build one. So if I talk about me, I didn't know JavaScript. I primarily code in Golang, but one day I tried to learn JavaScript along with the building an add-on. So this is how you can do. It's very easy to just have a vanilla JS, just have a small add-on even it doesn't need to be a Grammarly like add-on, right? So this is what I would suggest. It's very simple to build. It's very easy, not simple. And also you don't need different codes to run it on each browser. So for Chrome also, for Firefox also, for Opera, Edge, you can use the same code base with zero or minimal changes, and then you can just publish it there. So it doesn't require writing the same code, same logic for different browsers. So this is the beauty of web extensions. And you can find, since it's a cross-browser system, so you can find the documentations from all over the places. Even Chrome has their own documentation. Mozilla has their own documentation. So you leverage the benefit of this, right? And now let's see what are web extensions architecture. So the architecture of web extension contains manifest.json. Basically, this is the heart of the web extensions where you start giving the basic configuration. So it's a JSON file which gives you which actually you can input all the JSON features and configs related to your add-on. What are the points you're gonna give, permissions, and I'll show you in the next slide how the structure of manifest.json looks like. But let's see what are the other components in the web extensions are, which are actually, one of them is background page, another one is content scripts. It could be page action, it could be browser action, options page, and also web accessible resources. So let's see each one of them in depth. This is how your manifest.json will look like for your add-on. So this is the basic structure. The key would remain the same. The values might vary according to your add-on. So it's very readable. You need to provide the name of your add-on, versioning of your add-on, the description of your add-on. You can provide the icons. This is the icon path, and this is the permissions. So in the permissions, this is one of the feature for the security purpose. So whenever I'll discuss in the later slides is that whenever you are using some of that API, then you need to provide them in the permissions array of key, right? So this is how you will enhance the security of your add-on as a developer. And next is page actions. And you are providing next is default title. Whenever you are hovering over your add-on, then this message will be shown to the user who has installed your add-on. And next is background scripts. So this is a small overview, and let's see what it actually is, and I'll show you what are the other components. So this is a background script, and if I talk about background script, so you mention background script path or the file name in the manifest.json in this way. So this is a code snippet of the manifest.json itself. We just provide the file name, and basically background scripts are the script which gets loaded as soon as you install the add-on. So if I have installed your add-on, then the background script of that add-on will be loaded on my browser, and it will get unloaded only when I uninstall it. And the beauty of background scripts is it gives you the leverage. You can leverage all the web extensions APIs in your script. So there are n number of, let's say there are 50 web extensions APIs, then all the 50 you can utilize them in the background while writing background scripts. And now let's see what are content scripts. So content scripts are somewhat similar to background script, but there is a bit difference. So I would say it's a normal scripts in your web browser. But the key point here is you can access the DOM structure, and also it uses a small subset of your web extensions API. So as I mentioned, let's say there are 50 web extensions API, then background scripts would be able to use all the 50 web extensions API. But that's not the case with content scripts. Content scripts might be able to use only 20 of the 50 APIs. So it has that kind of only permissions to you that is being allowed in the content scripts. But if let's say if we want to use all other APIs which cannot be accessed directly by the content scripts, then there is a hack basically. So what you need to do is you can actually send message to the background script, and background scripts will indirectly access all the web extensions API, and then it will send the response to the background scripts, which in return will actually send back the response to the content script. So basically you are exchanging messages through the background scripts to access some of the APIs indirectly, which content script doesn't have the permissions to do that. So this is how content scripts look like. So I'll give an example. So let's say there is a website in which you just want to send an alert pop-up kind of thing when you are loading. So what it will do is it will just see the web URL, and the URL is mozilla.org. So basically it's a domain. In any domain of the mozilla.org, these JS scripts will be running. But if I am viewing, let's say, DuckDuckGo, then these scripts will not be running, because I have given in the matches field that only run these scripts only when the website is mozilla.org. So this is how you can leverage it. It's just a normal script which runs only on specific sites, but it gives you the access to the DOM structure as well. Yeah, so let's see what are browser actions. So as you can see, is there is a Grammarly add-on which is installed on my browser, and the Grammarly extension icon is actually shown on the toolbar. So all I mean to say is there that whenever you are using browser action, then the icon of the add-on would be visible on the toolbar, and when to use it is the point where is that when your add-on features are applicable to all the websites, then you use browser actions. So there is a page action and browser action. Whenever websites like Grammarly doesn't depend on the website, right? Its features will be applicable to all the websites. So in that case, all the add-ons would be there. All the features would be applicable to the website, and you can use it, and you can view the specific add-on icon on the toolbar. And this is how you mention the browser action in your manifest.json. You are providing the browser action key. You're providing the default icon, which will be shown on the toolbar. You're providing the default title, and you are providing the popup.html. So basically, if you click on the Grammarly icon, you will see a small pop-up, which is actually a HTML page, and it is a small subset of a web page. Exactly, pop-up is something which we know that, and it will give the title. So whenever you are hovering over the icon, then whatever the default title you are providing, it will be shown in the browser action icon. And another one I mentioned was page action. So whenever the website or add-on features are applicable to the particular website, so this I have given the example of PrivateX, and PrivateX because PrivateX features were limited to the net banking sites or travel booking sites. It's not applicable to DuckDuckGo or Google.com or Mozilla.org, right? So in that case, I have used page actions, and it will be shown in the address bar. Since it is applicable to the website URL, so it is shown on the address bar, and the content which you mention for the page action in the manifest.json would almost be similar apart from the keyword page action or browser action. So that's the only change which you need to mention in the manifest.json. But you need to use either of them, either page action or browser action. And then there comes another component, which is options page. So options page is actually, you mentioned options UI and page, options HTML page in the manifest.json as provided in the code snippet. But basically it's a page where you can actually define the preferences of the extension. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm using a extension in which I might need to give I might provide the notifications that this website is not good for viewing. So in that case, it might be annoying to the other users as well, right? As a developer, I am providing this notifications as a key feature. Is one of the feature which cannot be skipped by the users. So the few of the users might find it very annoying, and in that case, what will happen? They might uninstall it. So basically, as a developer, I would have used this feature, notifications feature, in the options page, and I would have given the individual preferences to the add-on users who are installing my add-on. I would have given the specific features specific to the users. Users can actually turn on or turn off the notification feature of my add-on. So this is where options space comes to the picture. And let's talk about, I've already mentioned Web Extensions API word. Let's see what are these APIs. So let me start with a few of the examples. One of them is notifications, alarms, bookmarks, tabs, storage, sidebar action, context menus, web requests. So these are very few, and I have just provided very few Web Extensions API just to make you understand and provide in a layman language so that you can understand and dig more into the depth and explore other APIs as well as per the add-on requirement. So let's see each one of them. So this is the notifications API. So let's say you wanna build an add-on in which you want to send the number of count of the words basically. So what you are doing is you're just selecting the number of words, right clicking on it, and just using the web add-on feature, which is actually word count, and it will throw a notification to the user. So it's counting and throwing. So to throw the notification, I'm using the notifications API, and it's very straightforward. All you need to do is use this code snippet to create any notifications. So what I'm trying to use is I'm using the browser namespace, notifications API, and the function of a notifications API as create. An alert user is the notifications name basically. Whatever the notification I'm providing, it's the name. And these are the key fields. I'm providing the key fields as what is the icon would be there, what is the title. So title, whatever the title message would be there in the notification itself. So this is very straightforward, and you can use this code snippet to just throw a notification to the user. And let's see another API, alarms API. So as the name says, let's say you wanna build an add-on which can help you to remind, yourself that you need to drink the water right now, or after every 15 minutes, the add-on should remind you that please drink the water, right? So for that periodic alarm, for that add-on, you might be using notification API to throw the notifications, and also you are using alarm API, which will actually run periodically, like after every 15 minutes, I'll have delay in minutes as 15 or delay period in time as 15 to create an alarm that it will run in background after every 15 minutes, and it will throw the notifications API. And you can actually drink water whenever it sends you the reminder, because we tend to work a lot and we tend to forget that whenever we need to drink water or not. So this is kind of straightforward. You are just using browser namespace, alarms API, and create function of the alarm API, and you're providing the name, and in which you're providing the values, and it will just create a alarm in delay of 5 minutes. Let's see another API, which is tabs API. So tabs API is one of the API which is used more often, because in browser there are tabs. Any browser will be having tabs, right? You need to use the tab feature most of the times. So what I'm trying to do is I'm using browser API, browser namespace, and browser action is the actually thing, because you are clicking the browser action. So what is happening here is, let's say I have created an add-on. A user will click the icon of the add-on, and when it gets clicked, it will create one new tab, which is example.org. So this snippet will actually just whenever someone is clicking the browser action icon, then it will create a new tab, which is example.org. And this snippet is quite simple, like on clicked and add listeners. You are just I'm using tabs API, browser namespace, tabs API, and create function of tabs API. And with a simple URL, you can just create it. And whenever it is created, you can call the other functions. And it's pretty straightforward to use browsers tab and .create, right? And there is another API which is quite similar to the tabs API. This one is Windows API. So if you see the code snippet, it's quite simple. So in this, let's take an example. So I have created an add-on in which I want the user to click the add-on icon. And once it gets clicked, then it will actually create a window with the two different tabs, which will be having URLs as developer.mozilla.org and addons.mozilla.org. So I hope you got a difference between the tabs API and Windows API. So basically in the tabs API, it will create a new tab in the same browser window, but for the window API, it will create a new window. It could be a private window as well, depending on your features, configuration, with those URLs, which you have provided in the code snippet. So it has the same thing. Instead of browser action, if you're using page action in your manifest.json, then you can just replace browser action with a page action. And it's straightforward. And these are the kind of API which are very quite common, and it might have given you a confidence that you can also build one add-on very easily. But the most important feature is security in an add-on as a developer as well and as a user as well. So I generally tend to focus on an add-on's security as a user more, because I see that add-on developers would be lesser, but you might develop only one add-on, but you might use several add-ons. So security as a user is more important than a security as a developer in my context as a number of user. So if I talk about security is then, see, whenever you're trying to install an add-on, then you will be prompted a pop-up, which actually I'm trying to, in this screenshot, I'm trying to install Gostrey, and it will show all the things for which it requires permissions to as a user. So it will access your data, it will access your browser tabs, it will access closed recent labs, it will display notifications to you. So basically, the point which I mentioned in the manifest.json, there was a permissions key in which you need to provide the tabs API as a developer. So that feature is actually used here. So whatever the APIs I have mentioned in the permissions, it will be shown here to the user whenever they are trying to install. So this is very important. I'm emphasizing more on this because there are some add-ons which actually says that they will do something. They will do some X feature, they will provide you some X feature, but they will try to access your data also when there is no need even. So in that case, you need to know what this add-on is trying to access, what this add-on is trying to track you. If why it is using notifications API, is the add-on really providing me the notification? Why did that add-on is accessing my data or the browser tabs, right? So in that way, as a security, as a user, we need to take care of the security of the add-on because your data is very important. And let me talk about security in depth as well. So whenever you are trying to install an add-on as a user, I would say whenever you are actually trying to buy some product on Amazon, so you always tend to check the reviews, you check the ratings, right? Similarly, we need to do that for add-on as well. We should check the reviews, we should actually check the ratings of the add-on for our security itself, because we don't want to be tracked uselessly. So, but we don't do that because we think that data is not costly, but it's actually costlier than the product which you are buying on the Amazon, right? So please do take care of your security while installing as an add-on as a user. But with respect to the add-on developer, that add-on security would be like using the third-party libraries and not using minified.js and also minified versions, or using the libraries that you should keep on updating the third-party libraries because they might have security checks and all right. So for that, as a developer, you should make sure that you are using the updated libraries and other few key concepts which are provided on the Web Extensions Workshop website as well, which I'll mention later on. And this is the last component of browser add-ons, which is how can you port your add-on. So as I mentioned, we are using Web Extensions browser system. So you don't need to write the same piece of code for different browser. All you need to is you can use the same code base or do some minimal changes. So I'll tell you what Chrome uses is Chrome uses the Chrome namespace and all the APIs would be similar. Mozilla uses both the namespace, Chrome namespace and browser space. And Edge and Opera uses browser namespace. So what I'm trying to say here is if you're trying to build an add-on for Chrome, then you need to use Chrome namespace. When you are trying to build an add-on for Firefox, you can use either of them. And let's say you want to port your Chrome extensions to the Firefox add-ons, then all you need to do is just publish it, because Firefox accepts Chrome namespace as well. But let's say just reverse this condition. If you have built an add-on on Firefox and then you are trying to publish it on the Chrome, then I would need to change the Chrome browser namespace to the Chrome, because Chrome accepts only Chrome namespace. In that case, I don't need to do anything. Just Control Find, select all, Control Find, and just replace all. Replace all Chrome browser with the Chrome keyword. That's it. And that's what I did for my add-on. I published it for the Firefox. I used browser namespace, but Chrome was not accepting it. I just replaced it and I just pushed it to the publish to the Chrome Web Store as well, just by a single change. I will talk a lot about the concepts of browser add-ons, given you examples, but let's see how can you start one, how can you start coding one. So I'll give you provide you two options. One of them is Web Extensions UI. So you can just visit this website and actually get started. It will give you the boilerplate to get started with the web extensions. You will provide the name, extension name, you will provide the versions, you will provide the description, you will provide, do you need browser action or not? Do you need background script or not? So in that case, it will give you a boilerplate for skeleton basically for your add-on, and you can just start with the logic itself. It will give you a zip and you just download it and start coding. And that was for the beginners. Basically, if you're a beginner, I'll prefer you to do that. But if you're a hardcore developer and doesn't like UI much, so you can go with the command line tool, which is WebEx. You can install that and it will actually help you to build, run and test Web Extensions API. And these are very straightforward command line commands: Web Extension run, Web Extension lint, or build. So you can try it out as well if you don't like the UI feature. And next is, once you have built the add-on, what's next, right? While building one add-on, you need to keep on debugging it, because to check basically if it's working fine or not. So all I'll do is I'll go to Firefox, I'll write about.debugging page and enable the add-on debugging. I'll just load the manifest.json of my add-on, and this will actually load your add-on locally on your browser at that moment, and you can actually see if the feature if you have built is working fine or not. And this is how you can debug it easily, and you can provide console log or alerts, whatever you want to, the way you actually debug the JS code. And the last thing, after debugging, when it is working fine, is you need to publish your add-on. So when you want to publish your add-on on a Firefox website, it is free of cost. You can do it. For Chrome, you might need to pay $5 for your first add-on, and later on it's free as well. So just go to this website and just read this. This is one of the blogs from one of my co-tech speaker, and he has mentioned that how can you actually publish your add-on with ease if you're facing some of the difficulties. But this documentation provided by Mozilla is all sufficient in case you want to look for. And these are a few of the resources, and I will actually emphasize more on the first one, because it has all the things for a developer to get started with the extensions. It has beginner level guides, it has all kinds of links, all kinds of security thing. If you read it all, you will get everything. And next is, this is MDN website where you can read about how can you build it. I started with this second website itself. And this is the Chrome website, Chrome documentation, where you can see and actually see how can you build one if you're facing some difficulty. And next is github.com. It is provided by Mozilla. Let's say if you know, sometimes you know few of the APIs that, yes, for my add-on requirement, I need to use this API, but how to use that? Sometimes documentation is not enough. You can actually see the small web extensions example. That would be running code add-ons basically, but you can actually see how some API is used in those add-ons. And last one is the Wikipedia wiki page of Mozilla, and where everything is mentioned related to the web extensions. It will talk about add-ons, how can you contribute to the add-ons community as well. And just in case if you're facing any difficulty, you can reach out to, since Mozilla has a community of add-ons, so we are all there to actually answer you. If you're facing any difficulty or if you want any queries, you can reach out to the Matrix and just basically join these add-ons and MO channel, or you can just drop a mail to this mailing list, or you can just join this channel, join this group add-ons chat on Telegram, and you can just ask your questions there itself. And this is all about today, whatever the things overview are provided. And just in case if you are thinking that how can I find the links, then you can just visit this link right now and you can find the slide at this moment, and you can just bug me or ping me or DM me anything with any queries related to the web extensions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jyotsna. Thank you for your time, for presenting today here at the Women in Tech virtual conference. We for sure hear and see your passion. We're actually a couple minutes late, but that's of course because you had a lot of exciting knowledge to share with us. So thank you very much for that. And I hope you stay safe and stay healthy. And we for sure will be following you.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you. It was nice talking to you. Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you on my behalf as well.